Welcome to Zoom O'Clock with your host, Tessy Antony de Nassau. This podcast brings you enlightening discussions with leading experts and public figures directly to your ears.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zoom O'Clock with your host, Tessy Antony de Nassau. Today, I have not just one, but three other guests. The reason being because we're talking about an organization that has a starting point and now, after 25 years, is led by different people, but still kind of like chaperoned by the co-founder himself. I'm speaking about Frank Floessel, my beautiful husband, who is next to me.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Then I have here Antonia Unger, who is the former president of ETH Juniors. Welcome, Antonia.
Thank you, Tessy.
And then I have Sebastian Waszkis, I hope I pronounced that right, who is the new and current president of ETH Juniors. Welcome, Sebastian.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about ETH Juniors, which is a student enterprise of the ETH in Zurich. It's an amazing organization, and you're doing some really fabulous things there. I don't want to talk too much about what I know, because I want to hear all about it from you guys. And I think the best point to start will be with Frank, because Frank is one of the co-founders. So Frank, my first question to you, what is ETH Juniors?
Yes.
And maybe a quick follow-up question at the same time, why?
Good question. Okay, well, ETH Juniors is a student enterprise. It's a junior enterprise. The junior enterprise is a principle that has been on numerous European universities. It's a student-led consulting company that my co-founders and I founded in 1997. And has
How
been,
old were you then?
I was young. Let me see. I was 24 then.
All right.
All right. Yes. Well, the founding story goes like this. So I was at that time president of my student club called AMIF, the electrical engineering student organization. And I had four friends that were also presidents of other student clubs. And together we all were about 2 years into being a president. We were kind of bored with this job and we looked for something new. And my role, or my special role in this situation, was I went to ETH Juniors, the physics area there, and I found a flyer from university. And the university had a student-run junior enterprise. And I went back to my friends and said, guys, we have to do this at ETH. Because for whatever reason, ETH did not have a student-run company at that time. So then we started to build the company. It's a Verein in a Swiss law. And the unique thing of this company is it can only be run by students. So once you leave ETH, you're by definition being kicked out. So this company is very unique in a sense that it has a very high fluctuation. About once every 12 to 18 months, the whole team rotates. The people who come in have more or less an idea what to do, but have normally no clients, have normally don't have the students either they need to work with. And it's a very dynamic organization.
Interesting. So before I go over to Antonia, at the 25th anniversary last year that I was very, very honored to be part of, it was really fantastic to see all the people that have been involved with ETH Juniors for the last 25 years. You were giving a speech about ETH Juniors, and you were talking about the investment of it. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Well, no, the point is, when you look at this from a distance as a venture capitalist, for example, and you say, who would invest in a company that changes its key personnel every year, who has no product, who doesn't have a budget, who can only get a salary once it has acquired projects. So other than that, there is no money. Who would do that? And every normal person would say, I would never invest in such a company. And still, 25 years later, we have about, I think, 300 alumni. We call them ETH Seniors, who are in the ETH Seniors Club, who went through that process. And the company is still thriving, I think now more than ever, and still kicking and alive.
That's fantastic. I love it. So over to you, Antonia, then. You are now the former president of ETH Juniors. How did you get involved in that? Why did you get involved in it? And also, how is it for a woman to be in ETH Juniors?
Thank you for that question, Tessy. Maybe first of all, I think it's always great talking to Frank and seeing how many things have changed at ETH Juniors over the last couple of years, but kind of the mindset, the spirit of the people behind it is something which is still, I feel like, totally similar to 25 years ago. And that is something that I always see when talking to you with the ideas you have of how to continue with the association. But for me personally, I engaged with ETH Juniors about 14 months ago because I wanted to apply the know-how I learned at university into a real-life setting. And ETH Juniors is a place where you're kind of thrown into a room with 12 other people who are all super driven, super engaged, and have a super strong mindset that they want to change something in the world. And that is something that inspired me in the first job interview I had at ETH Juniors, and kind of started my passion of the association as well. And I think that passion is still continued until today, and is something which I'm also very proud of to continue in the future.
Were you the first female president of ETH Juniors?
No, there have been female presidents before. The last one was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, of course, at ETH there are more males than females as well. So it's always harder to get a high number of females into the association.
What I found really intriguing when we met the first time, Antonia, and we are regulars, we're now BFFs, right? So what I really loved when you were saying, about the journey of when you started ETH Juniors, that once you have passed the job interview, as you called it, you literally get thrown into a job straight away, right? Some people, they come on their first day and you send them off to a client. Is that true?
That's totally true. So my first day at ETH Juniors was arriving at 8 a.m. at the office, jumping into a car at 8:30, and directly going to a client and getting the slides of pitching ETH Juniors. And I think that's something that's extremely unique about ETH Juniors as well. It's an environment where people expect extremely highly of you, but you're constantly thrown into the deep end again and again. And this is what, for me personally, created the largest learning opportunities and fosters a huge environment of personal growth when you're constantly, have to be challenged, have to decide how I'm going to deal with the situation. But yeah, we're all a super supportive team. So if something goes wrong, it's nobody's going to look bad at you for it. It's all about kind of thriving together and helping the others, supporting the others to achieve their best.
That's fantastic. No, I'm so inspired, and I really loved ETH Juniors from the first moment that I heard about what you're doing and what my husband has co-founded when he was 24. It's such a young age, right? If you put it into perspective, at 24, who can say that you create something like that already, right? I think it's fantastic. So Sebastian, over to you then. You're the new president of ETH Juniors. What does that mean, and how did you even get into to get that responsibility? What did you need to do when you got elected?
So yeah, it's a huge responsibility that I'm facing now, and it was a long decision process until I decided that I want to do the presidency of ETH Juniors. So it was 2 weeks ago on a Thursday afternoon, I decided that I want to candidate for presidency at ETH Juniors. So I prepared my pitch deck. The whole day I didn't work too much on the other projects because I really started to focus on the presidency, on the pitch. And it was a really long evening discussing my challenges, my goals within ETH Juniors. And then there was a big team discussion with the other people, with the other members of ETH Juniors, deciding who is the best fit for ETH Juniors, also in terms of the history that ETH Juniors has, the missions and the purpose. So who really is the best fit for this position? And then gladly, I was elected as president for the next period with ETH Juniors.
When I met you a week ago, so we have kind of already that rota that with the presidents, we always meet for lunch and we talk and we brainstorm and create magic together, which I really love. And I hope we continue that. But as president, so you have these 12 other people working with you. And also one thing that I really like, an anecdote that you shared very kindly with me, it kind of felt like the election of the Pope. You needed to get out of the room and everyone was in the room stuck inside until the president was voted. Is that true?
Exactly. There are definitely some similarities between the Pope election and the ETH Juniors election, maybe some different responsibilities still, but yeah, there are some parallels, definitely.
So what does it entail to be the president? Because you have these 12 other people working with you. You are a team. You're all students. You have all the same qualifications. But what makes you different as president to everyone else?
Mm-hmm. So within ETH Juniors, we really share this mind that everybody has the same responsibilities within projects. So there's not a big difference between me and the other team members, but really my goal is to steer the team in the right direction and also be responsible for team bonding so that the team really functions the way as it is, and also steer towards the future of ETH Juniors.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and it's a big responsibility, right? Keep people moving forward, especially because Frank said before they were bored and that's why they created ETH Juniors. But we all know that ETH, just with the studiums, just the education itself is already extremely demanding, right?
Very tough, yeah.
and it definitely needs a special mindset to not just do the studies, but also on top this pretty much full-time job that you have. And suddenly you have responsibilities for real life clients, for deadlines. People's jobs are on the line if projects go wrong. So yeah, I think it's a very early start into real life.
Yeah, so, on the daily business, I face problems that I haven't seen before anywhere in terms of my career in study whatsoever. So it's really, despite having lack of knowledge, you have to make decisions for the best of the team, for the best of ETH Juniors. That's a huge responsibility, but also a huge difficulty, I think so.
So as they say, when shit hits the fan, you're the one that stands in front.
Kinda, yeah.
But the great thing is this is an amazing lesson in life, because in real life, when you found a company and you run a company, you never have enough time or money to get to the right perfect decision. You always have a lack of that. So you need to decide faster. You don't have the budget you wanted to originally have. So that's, to be honest and to be frank, this is how it will always be.
Okay. Looking forward to the future then.
But you get used to it, you know?
Nonetheless, it says something that the association has been here for over 25 years. And in total, we have over 500 trusted partners within these 25 years we were able to support with projects. And I think the association is working as good as it has never before. And yeah, I think that despite many like structural things which may be roadblocks to scalability, to other things, the association is working super successfully, and that's always great to see.
So there's also, last year you had a big coup as well. You had a publication in the Bilanz, which is kind of like the Financial Times, one of the biggest business magazines of Switzerland, and Frank, an anecdote of him, if you get a passport picture in the Bilanz, you are someone, and you had 4 pages. How was that?
Definitely huge success for the association, and also something great that we were able to share our story with more people, and a lot of the storyline of the article was regarding young people wanting to change something in the world, and young people taking ownership, taking responsibility of what they do. And this is something I feel nowadays is often put into a more negative image, where young people are portrayed in a more negative way in this perspective. So I think that was great about the article, showing how young people are willing to take ownership and want to change something nowadays.
Absolutely, I agree. I really love that because, and as you say, the negative connotation is always like that young people nowadays are lazy, they don't want to work, they don't want to do things like that. But seeing what you guys are really pulling out and doing is just absolutely extraordinary, because you have amazingly big clients. Can you tell us a bit of examples of clients? Because there's quite a lot of spin-offs that come out of ETH Juniors. You had unicorn companies. You have, is there a few that you want to highlight?
Definitely, yeah.
So for example, one of our largest projects we carried out over the past years was with the company Alfa Romeo Racing. It was a project where we developed a new kind of box stop testing system for their cars, so an engineering project. And in total, we employed 2-digit numbers of employees over the course of multiple years within this project. And that was extremely successful. One of the larger projects we conduct, but very, very successful.
Yeah. Maybe let's just take a step back for the listener. So the business model of ETH Juniors is very unique because basically what you guys do, you go to companies and you say, hey, it's us, we're from ETH, we know where to find the smartest people that we have, tell us your problems. Then the companies tell you their challenges, their problems, where they need solutions. And then you basically go back, look for the right students because you're not the ones who do the actual project work, you're the project managers. So you find the right specialist and then you employ that person. You make a project contract with the client, and then that is basically the main business model. So it's like a consulting with all sorts of students that are studying at ETH Zurich.
Exactly. So we really leverage the state-of-the-art knowledge from the university and successfully transfer towards the industry to solve real-life challenges with industry partners.
So tell me, talking about unicorns, tell me some names of the unicorns that were spinned out of ETH Juniors.
So my all-time favorite is of course Climeworks. It's a startup that has been in the media in the past month quite a lot, and one of the largest ones, and something we're also very proud of, to have one of their founders in our board in the past years. But maybe also again taking a bit back, entrepreneurship is something which ETH Juniors is thriving for. It's one of our goals of the institution or association, and we have a very unique system how we want to transfer this know-how that is at universities and create startup out of it. And for me personally, what kind of how I see the path of somebody who joins ETH Juniors is that they come from university, have this backpack of academic know-how, a lot of skills, are super smart, join ETH Juniors, get to know what problems companies face, what are the largest issues that are currently exist in the industry. And then with having learned how to run a company, what it takes to run a successful company, and having seen the problems in the industry, they can combine this to then found their own company and actually solve these challenges. And I think with this combination, you have a very, very great result of people who want to found companies and have the know-how and the skills to be able to do so.
So one thing that is always intriguing for the listeners as well, and also for myself, with everything that you're doing, and unicorns have been spinned out of this, and around 69 companies, and so on. For the number crunchers here, tell us a bit about the numbers.
Mm-hmm. So yearly within ETH Juniors, the main board consists of around 12 project managers, and yearly we conduct around over 100 projects with companies, with industry partners, in collaboration on the projects with student or graduates, which work on the projects for us. So that's around 200 students per year. And we achieve a single-digit million revenue yearly.
That is extraordinary. I think, for the people who don't understand what we're talking about, it's like a karate club on steroids.
One could say so, yes.
It's fantastic. It's really, really great. So there's ETH Juniors, and then, as Frank mentioned already before, what happens then after? What will happen to you, Antonia?
That's the key question, the good question. I've been staying awake at night during the past month. But of course, for me, after working with such an inspiring team and having people around you which are extremely driven, working for the same purpose and supporting each other in every situation, for me, it became clear to me that I also want to found my own company, run my own company, and that is way more fulfilling than any other way. So for me, I think after ETH Juniors, it will be about brainstorming ideas, starting things, trying out things, and seeing in which direction it will go.
That's exciting. And I'm sure ETH Seniors will also hear from you in the future. Sebastian, then, new president. What will be the highlights that you want to bring forward in your presidency? Mm-hmm. What can we expect?
So one big discussion that we're having internally is how to scale juniors. Juniors is a super successful concept. And the idea is how to scale it up, or is it even scalable? And if so, how and what directions? And one idea could be to increase the size of the main board as one idea. Would have some benefits, possibly also some downsides, and this is really some big topic that we're discussing internally momentarily. Also, one big idea is that we are following momentarily is the idea of a juniors foundry, like an environment to promote to promote startups. The more startups come out of ETH Juniors, they're guided by seniors towards success.
That is so exciting. I cannot wait. So if I am a possible client, for example, right? Tell me 10 skills where a company or a person that is listening to this now can say, oh, I might have a project for them. So 10 skills you could accommodate in terms of what you have.
So with skills, you mean like problems?
Engineering, exactly. Problem solving, technology, AI, whatnot.
So we have several skills that really reflect also the study at ETH. So there can be process optimization. So looking at existing processes and using data analytics to find optimizations within those processes. Also, one key strength of us is towards IT. So using computer vision algorithms to detect errors within products and assure quality assurance within them, or create dashboards for managements of companies to track customer feedbacks within their company. Of course, also, again, one big strength of ETH and one big strength of us is in the area of engineering. Antonia mentioned before a project that we conducted with a successful Formula 1 team. So we created the pit stop rig for them to train the pit stop crew. But we also cover, within this 25 years of experience, we also cover more the business side of projects like market researches, evaluating new markets, finding new technologies for companies, or doing competitive analysis, who's the key players within certain markets. We also have a cool format of innovation workshops where we bring together an interdisciplinary team of students that brainstorm over 1 to 2 days of problematics, ideas of all kinds, and then after the workshop have cool concepts of how to tackle these problems and issues of the world.
Wow.
Then another big topic more present is towards sustainability. That can be how to improve the CO2 emissions of a certain process, or finding new materials that have less CO2 print on the earth. So really that kind of areas.
That is amazing.
Maybe summarizing it. So as you can see, we're super diverse, and it's not one area we're focusing on, because the main USP that we can offer companies is that we can create or bring together the best people with academic backgrounds from the entire world of academia in Switzerland. So this can be in sustainability, this can be in IT, this can be in engineering, but our strength lies really in finding the best people with the best know-how to solve a specific problem. So and that's kind of what we offer to companies and how we then can create value for them.
That is amazing. So, well, I could ask 10 million questions, but we have reached our end. But one thing, they can contact you by Googling ETH Juniors, right? Because I think that's also important, how to find you. You have an Instagram as well. And, people, if they want to get in touch with you, they will find you. So ETH Juniors, Google them, and there you find the information. One last question to each one of you. Maybe I start with Antonia, then Sebastian, and we finish with the co-founder, Frank. What is your vision for ETH Juniors for the next 5 years? What would you leave ETH Juniors with? Your last words.
I think my vision for ETH Juniors is, it's not to increase the amount of projects. It's not to increase the revenue we generate. It's not to make ETH Juniors more efficient. I think my vision for ETH Juniors is that it continues to help young people who are super smart, who are super driven, to know where to put this energy, and to help a larger amount of people to be able to go through this experience. Because for me personally, it has definitely been one of the best years of my life.
Amazing. Sebastian?
Yes. So the way I see it, ETH Juniors is really a school, but also more than a school, it's kind of a family, this team. You work so close together, and that's the great thing with it. So I really would like to, as Antonia also mentioned, I really would like to share this experience with more people, and then also encourage more people to start to found a startup as an example. So that's really my goal, that ETH Juniors becomes more towards a foundry of startups, also to promote this within the next 5 years.
That's fantastic. Yes, and I cannot wait. Then last words from the co-founder of ETH Juniors, but also you're a board member of ETH Juniors and you're on the board of ETH Seniors. So what are you?
On board. I'm also the co-founder of ETH Seniors, but not on the board there.
Sorry about that. But so my most amazing husband, what are your dreams for ETH Juniors? Because it's your baby. Yeah. You created this with your friends, and 25 years on, it's so strong, so successful, so impactful for Switzerland. What do you want to say?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think it's amazing that it's still alive, right? We hoped that, I think, when we started it, but I'm not sure we all would have given our life for guaranteeing that 25 years it's still alive. It had ups and downs, but I think at the moment it's a really good state, and I hope that it will continue to thrive. I think that is the most important part. But as Sebastian said, right, I think the idea of juniors as a start of an entrepreneurial career, I think that is something I personally believe in. And I think we are now having activities toward that area. Because in the past, so we had 30 startups, and just to make sure we don't get sued by anyone here. So these are not spin-offs from ETH Juniors, but technically speaking, these are companies founded by former members of ETH Juniors. So maybe just to name a few. So we don't only have Kleinbergs mentioned here. I have a whole list here of all startups. I read some that might be known. Get Your Guide is one of them. Kleinbergs, as you said, Beekeeper, Teralytics.
Tempo Brain as well.
Tempo Brain, yes, that was my company. We also have Arclet. We have Adresta. We have Wingman, which is a venture capital fund. So we have all sorts of companies in all directions that have been founded from that. So far, just because the founders either were at ETH Juniors and had the project there where they thought that could be scaled and did that, or because the founders just realized that they were a good team and then together did something completely else, completely different, right? And then I think getting more structure into that would be amazing to have even more successful companies in the future coming out of ETH Juniors.
That's fantastic. Well, that concludes our little discussion. Thank you so much, Antonia, and all the best for your future endeavors and everything you've been doing. We are BFFs now, so we keep talking. And then thank you, Sebastian. Good luck with your new presidency. You know where to reach us. We're always here for you, the Floessel team here. And of course, thank you to you, my loving husband, for your amazing work, for your inspiration and your guidance. You give these amazing young people all the time. Like Frank, there's not one day he doesn't talk about ETH Juniors. He's so proud of you guys. You have no idea how proud he is. He doesn't always say it, but he is. It's really one of his life successes that he's so proud of talking about, other than, of course, his children. But yeah.
And my marriage.
Oh, of course. Thank you. No, but it's beautiful to see, him, how he talks about you. It makes me so happy. And for that, I thank you very much, because you're doing the hard work, right? And we're here for you, whatever you need. Keep in touch. For the guys listening in, go and Google ETH Juniors, sorry about that, and find out more about them. Go and check out Bilanz on the article, which is available online as well. It's a fantastic article, and you really get a good idea on it. Valentin Vogt gave as well quotes on it, which is the chair of the board of ETH Juniors, an absolutely extraordinary human being. And it really shows that people like Valentin, if they believe in ETH Juniors, right, it's just an amazing, amazing organization, right? So you have really strong people backing you up at all times. And I think it's fantastic. So keep going. Thank you for your time. And we are always just a phone call away for all of you.
Well, thank you, Tessy, for being on your podcast.
Anytime.
Well, for giving us the opportunity to be on here. When I looked through your past listeners, I felt very intimidated. So yeah, thank you so much. And it's always great talking to you too.
Well, you're as badass as they are. So don't be intimidated.
Thank you for the support and the invite.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this Zoom O'Clock. We hope this discussion was insightful and has provoked some new ideas for you. Please share and subscribe. If you like to keep in touch with your host, you can find her on Instagram under Tessy_from_Luxembourg and on Twitter under Tessy_DE.